Welcome back. All right, so August 5th, 2021. Before I turn in for today, video-wise anyways, on this channel, Zach Aston-Reese has signed a one-year extension with the Pittsburgh Penguins for $1.75 million. No arbitration required. So there you go. So that's one less arbitration hearing than in the video I did this morning on how there would be, 16? So now we're down to 15 arbitration hearings. There'll be less than that. Dante Fabbro has also signed a 2-year, $4.8 million in total extension with the Nashville Predators, so that's $2.4 million per. That's a pretty good deal for Fabbro, who will be getting top 4 minutes, you would think, this year for Nashville. If you're wondering when the preseason starts, well, hey, if you want to watch a game on Sportsnet, so and I'm throwing this out there too as like just a heads up for Seattle fans as well. Preseason can be hit and miss in terms of being able to see every game. Regular season for me, I have the NHL Center Ice package, and so I don't have a problem with seeing every game during the regular season. But during the preseason, yeah, there's games that you just can't find locally. So nationally here in Canada, Sportsnet's first preseason game will be Montreal and Toronto. Act surprised. And it's Saturday, September 25th. That's 51 days out. So 7 weeks from Saturday, we will have the first preseason game between Montreal and Toronto. That will be in Toronto. And it should be a really fun game to watch because it's going to be a game to watch. And I'm like, I saw this and I thought, hey, I'll be doing a review for that one then. So, yeah, preseason, I do reviews for the preseason games too, because why not? It's always interesting to see which players look good in preseason that maybe they don't stick, maybe they do, maybe that good training camp works out for them. So, we're 7 weeks away from seeing the start of that. Now, other interesting tidbit from today comes from Frank Saravalli. So, he's hearing word that the salary cap will go up next year by $1 million to $82.5 million. Now, what's interesting is the NHL is projecting a $4.8 billion net income next year, which is, right up about where it was before the pandemic. It will be interesting to see if that holds up. And it will be interesting to see how all of that turns out. But the other interesting part to me is that the players owe the owners a lot of money. So the $81.5 million right now is a fake number. It's yes, it's the salary cap hit, and we talk about the cap and all that, but the actual money paid out to the players is much lower. And I'll do a video on escrow and all of that. We will likely hear maybe a change on the number for this year. I would think if the NHL is expecting pretty regular revenues, maybe we'll see the escrow number drop a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. But basically the players lose a whole bunch of money to the NHL because the NHL is not actually making enough money to justify an $81.5 million cap to all the teams. So the fact the cap is going up is interesting to me because even if the NHL is going to make all that extra money, I was under the impression that we wouldn't see the salary cap go up until the players were no longer in debt, where they'd paid back whatever the NHL loses during the pandemic, which is a lot of money. For every dollar that the NHL makes revenue-wise, 50 cents goes to the NHL, or NHLPA, and 50 cents goes to the NHL, the league itself. Now, what the NHL's argued, and they're right, is that with the pandemic, with everything being shut down, and with the losses they had by not having fans in attendance, if the NHL loses a dollar, then the NHLPA loses 50 cents. So they've been losing that 50 cents on the dollar the whole way through since March of last year. And here we are talking about next year's salary cap potentially being higher. But I hear that and I think to myself, so they could end up owing more money when it's all said and done. Because, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It really is. And we'll see how it affects this season and all that other wonderful stuff. But if salary cap goes up by $1 million next year, there's probably a handful of GMs, I'll say like half a dozen, that would say, great, we don't have to worry as much about this contract once that $1 million comes in. That helps us out a lot. But it won't be we won't see the cap going in leaps and bounds like we have in previous eras because of the fact that the players owe that money, you would think anyways. And the only thing that, the other eyebrow-raising thing for me is, so does this mean ticket prices go up? Probably. The NHL will try to recoup as many of those losses as possible. This is why we're talking about Bally's and all the betting and sports betting that's going to be going on, because the NHL wants to recoup money as quickly as possible. And the NHLPA would be on board with that, because the quicker the NHL makes its money, the quicker the players get theirs, which means they owe less, and all that other wonderful stuff. But that's a video for another time. We will see if this does come to pass. But hey, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.